How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its mid-year sale right now, and I am here to look at some of the more expensive deals. You know, for those of you that have a little bit of disposable income, this video is for you. We're looking at deals that are still under $20, but you know, on this channel, we so prioritize the under 10, the under 5, the under 3s even, that sometimes going above $10 is a little bit jarring for you guys, but that's what we gotta do in this video. You gotta pay to play. But before we get into this video, a quick word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by ENCORE, a brand new place to learn about and shop for video games and a variety of collectibles. When you're shopping for a card on ENCORE, real collectors tell you about the cards they're selling in short video listings. ENCORE is a marriage of social media and combined with an online auction. It's a great place to find hidden gems while video game collecting, and if you want a good alternative to live stream shopping, and you can find a variety of different listings to check out. If you use my link in the description box below, you'll get up to $200 in credit to spend in the app. All you have to do is download the app and sign up. You can go and look for a variety of games and consoles with a large amount of auctions, and those are really popular. You just swipe to bid, and you can set your max bid, and the system bids up to it automatically, and you can also get a notification when there's 5 minutes left. ENCORE takes trust and safety very seriously. All sellers are ID verified. The ENCORE guarantee protects you when your item comes not as described as well. And on top of that, if you jump on the app, there's tons of giveaways in the app that are completely free to enter. You don't pay anything if you win, including shipping. Check out the link in the description box below and get up to $200 in credits to spend on ENCORE using my link. And you could use it on iOS or the Android app stores. Now, on to the video. Alright, so let's get right into the video, and if you haven't bought Skyrim enough times, well, the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition is on sale for $16.49. Skyrim is legitimately one of my favorite games of all time. I get it, like, I've talked to people that were super into Morrowind and Oblivion, and they feel like Skyrim is a big fall off from that. I wasn't a big Morrowind or Oblivion guy growing up. Really, the first Elder Scrolls game that I got super into was Skyrim, and man, I love the game, and I played it back on the PlayStation 3 when it came out, and it ran like a pile of trash, but I couldn't even perceive that it was running that poorly. I was just like, man, this open world game is amazing. And now with the Anniversary Edition, you're getting it on PlayStation 5. It runs so much better. There's bonus content in there, and it's still a great open world RPG. Love Skyrim. It's unfortunate that Bethesda, I don't want to say they're washed, but given we get a game from them like every 8 years, and, you know, I would say their game quality has fallen off quite a bit. A little bit of a bummer, to say the least. But Skyrim still stands the test of time, and a reason why they only have to drop a game every 8 years is that they can continue just selling Skyrim over and over again, and they can chill on that. But $16.49 for that, good pickup there. Next up, Raccoon City Edition, $14.99, Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake. The Resident Evil 2 Remake is a really relevant playthrough ahead of Resident Evil Requiem, and RE3 is still a solid remake as well. RE2 is like fantastic. Resident Evil 2 is a legit fantastic survival horror action title. Resident Evil 3, on the other hand, you know, I didn't grow up with RE2 or 3, but from what I can ascertain from the general opinion is that RE3 is not a phenomenal remake like RE2 is, but still a worthwhile game in my experience, and to get both for $14.99, I think that's a great deal. Definitely would recommend that. Couple of other Resident Evil games. Let's just go through everything Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4, the remake of that is $19.99. Obviously, an outstanding game. What I often say is it's one of the greatest video games of all time, and you get a great remake done on it. What is it? One of the greatest video games of all time? Again, and I prefer the remake over the original. I know some people are classic and whatnot, and they prefer the original. Whatever, you do you, but I think the remake is tremendous, and for $19.99, great pickup there. And then Resident Evil Village Gold Edition is 70% off for $14.99. If you already played Biohazard Resident Evil 7, but you have yet to pick up Village, great price, get the DLC as well. Tremendous. Definitely recommend that. Next up, we got Spyro Reignited Trilogy, 65% off for $13.99. Man, I'm hoping that we get a new Spyro game reveal, you know, sometime in the future. There's been rumblings and whatnot, but Spyro the Reignited Trilogy is a great remake of the first three Spyro games, Spyro the Dragon, Ripto's Rage, and Year of the Dragon. I grew up with Spyro. Some of you guys know, but my very first console was a PlayStation 1, and the two games that I got were Mega Man X4 and Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. So obviously, as you guys probably can tell from this channel, there's a lot of nostalgic bias towards Spyro and Mega Man. I wonder why that is, but yes, I love Spyro, and these remakes are phenomenally well done. For $13.99 to get the trilogy, I think it's a great deal, so definitely would recommend that. Next up, we got Assassin's Creed Mirage, 60% off for $19.99. Now, Mirage was one of those games that it was gonna be a DLC for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, then they spun it into a full game release. You know, Halo 3 ODST style, Dying Light the Beast style as well, but Assassin's Creed Mirage, I think a lot of people went into it expecting an Assassin's Creed of old. What you should really go into it as is it's a smaller scale Assassin's Creed game. It's still very much of the newer style Assassin's Creed games, but it's not like this gigantic game that Valhalla was, and I thought Valhalla was literally a victim of its own ambition to be this game that was 150, 200 hours long, and I think that hurt the game quite a lot. Mirage, being the smaller scale Assassin's Creed game, I found it rather enjoyable. I like Basim as a character. For $19.99, I think it's a pretty good pickup. I would really say this is the perfect price to pick up AC Mirage for, but yeah, definitely a decent shout there. Next up, we got Sackboy, a Big Adventure, 67% off for $19.79. You guys have heard me talk about it. I think it's a little bit of a bummer that Sackboy is getting the short end of the stick here as far as mascots for PlayStation. It really seems like they're pivoting to Astrobot being that family-friendly mascot for PlayStation, which I think is such a shame. I love Astrobot, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Sackboy was such a great character, and you're talking about somebody that, you know, 2008, 2009, 2010, I was playing Little Big Planet 1 and 2, so obviously those games hit home for me. And Sackboy as a character, just loved him, and here you have a well-done platformer, and for $19.79, I think it's a great pickup. I've thrown out the idea, you know, Sony, it's a license to print money, Sackboy goes rogue, and you do an Astrobot versus Sackboy game. I'm gonna continue trying to, you know, hammer that home and try to get that thought across, because I feel like I'm the only one that called for it, but, you know, some people I've seen in the comments seem to like that idea, so I'm gonna continue drumming the hope for that. I think there's a lot of money to be made, and I think, you know, a lot of people would be into that from a narrative standpoint, and they could do the whole shtick, oh my god, we're friends at the end, and so on and so forth. Bro, it's a kid's game. Like, of course, they're gonna unite and they're gonna be friends at the end, but I think there's a lot of money to be made in a Astrobot versus Sackboy game. But I digress. $19.79 for a Big Adventure, great deal there. Next up, Dead Space Digital Deluxe Edition, $15.99 on this. Now, I'm only recommending the Digital Deluxe Edition on the basis that it's down to 16 bucks. I think it's a great deal. The Digital Deluxe Edition is kind of worthless as far as what you get included. Unique suits, suit textures. All right, yeah, nobody cares about that. It was a way for EA to fleece an extra $10 out of people. Good on you, but you know, the base game I don't think has been this cheap, and you know, maybe the base game will go down to $11.99, and if it does, by all means, go buy it for that price point, but I think $15.99 for the Deluxe Edition is pretty decent. Let's just say $15.99 for Dead Space Remake, I think is a great deal. Love the game, thought it was a great remake of Dead Space. Unfortunately, the IP probably gonna hit the shelf once again, as it didn't seemingly do all that well from a commercial standpoint, but it is what it is. We gotta deal with these unfortunate realities in gaming. When did this game come out? Oh my god, it's already been 2.5 years, 2023. So yeah, I think Dead Space is gonna hit the shelf once again, and unfortunately we won't get a remake of the second game. It is what it is. We can't all have nice things in this world, but yeah, the remake is great. $15.99, great deal on that. Next up, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, 50% off for $19.99. I think this game is great. If you guys are remotely into this channel, you know that I've talked about how I think this game had some of the worst marketing in the history of gaming. I think whoever greenlit that trailer for the debut, I don't know what they were on. I mean, like, yo, just talk about being completely out of touch with your audience, because that's exactly what that debut trailer was. Ultimately, I thought the game was a really solid Metroidvania in the sense that, you know, well-designed game, could be pretty challenging, well-done puzzles as well. Just thought it was a really enjoyable game. $50, probably a little bit too big of a stretch, Ubisoft, but, you know, it is what it is. I think for $19.99, it's a great pickup. There is some DLC available. Is the complete edition on sale? It is not, so the base game for $19.99, I think, is a pretty decent pickup. Next up, we got Psychonauts 2, 80% off for $11.99. Really, really solid platformer. You know, if you tell people that Psychonauts was getting a sequel, I don't know how long people would believe you on that, but it was always this cult classic that was beloved, and Psychonauts 2, a worthwhile game as well. Maybe for 60 bucks it would be a little bit too much, but $11.99, I think this is a damn good deal. A platform adventure with a cinematic style and tons of customizable psychic powers. Psychonauts 2 serves up danger, excitement, and laughs in equal measure as players guide Raz on a journey through the minds of friends and foes on a quest to defeat a murderous psychic villain. Definitely a little bit on the quirky side, a little bit on the comedic side, but for $11.99, definitely a good shout there. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Gold Edition, 70% off for $14.99. Obviously, there's a lot of rumblings of this game getting a remake, so whether or not you want to pick it up now, up to you. I think AC4 is 1A, 1B for my favorite, and I don't have to say I think. It is 1A, 1B for my favorite Assassin's Creed game of all time. Honestly, 1A, 1B, maybe you could throw 1C in there. I loved AC2, Brotherhood, and AC4. Those are my top three. AC2 and 4, definitely 1A, 1B. I don't know if Brotherhood would slide in as a 1C, or if that would be a number 2. But yeah, I loved Black Flag. I thought this game was outstanding. I thought Edward was an awesome character. Loved Edward, and the fact that, you know, if we do get this remake, I can go back and experience his story again with modern or updated visuals, because, bro, this game came out in 2013. It still looks outstanding. Still would have highly recommended. Yeah, it's a phenomenal game. 15 bucks, get the DLC. Just a tremendous, tremendous game, and even being 12 years old, still going for $15, I think, is a testament to how good this game is. So definitely would recommend that, and you know what? Play through it. You'll love it so much. You'll get excited for the remake. You'll buy the remake as well. This is one of those games that I think it's worthwhile going through it twice, and Lord only knows, I've beaten this game literally like 6 times. It's insane. It's actually insane how many times I've completed this game, but this is like total comfort food type of game for me at this point. Like, I can go back at any time, have a great time with it, and love the setting, like the naval combat. Didn't turn out so well with Skull and Bones, let's be honest here, but with Black Flag, it was outstanding, so definitely recommend that. Next up, I'll give a shout to Despelote, 20% off for $11.99. Now, this is a game that's been getting a lot of traction. It's been on my playlist since it came out last month, and it's 20% off for $12. One of the best received games of 2025 from a Metacritic standpoint. A soccer game about people get immersed in the streets and parks of Quito through the eyes and ears of 8-year-old Julian. Dribble, pass, and shoot your soccer ball around town and see what happens when you kick it someone's way. Feel the city change as Ecuador comes closer than ever to qualifying for the World Cup. Really cool style to the game. $12 already, under 20, but on a sale as well. Next up, Immortals of Aveum, 85% off for $10.49. Now, before you send me to the gallows for recommending this game, just hold up, hold up. I think this game is an atrocity from a narrative standpoint, character standpoint, voice acting standpoint. It is horrendous in that regard. I would highly recommend, when you play this game, consider muting the game or lowering the volume, listen to a podcast, etc., etc. I think the gameplay in this game is great. I think it's really satisfying from its action magic combat. I think the puzzles are fairly well done, and overall, there were elements of this game that I really liked. The story was an atrocity, the characters were an atrocity, the main character is totally unlikable, the side characters are terrible. I can go on and on about how much, like, I don't know who greenlit a lot of these aspects of the story and the characters. The characters are terrible, like rancid, an atrocity. Some of the worst characters I've ever seen in a video game, but I digress. The gameplay is really good, so shout out to them for the gameplay, Ascendant Studios. Unfortunately, the game didn't do all too well. They did a bunch of layoffs, you get the idea. A very typical tale in gaming these days, but $10.49 for that I actually think is a decent deal. Remnant from the Ashes Complete Edition, 75% off for $12.49. Take home the complete Remnant from the Ashes experience as you fight through a post-apocalyptic world overrun by monstrous creatures, fighting to restore humanity while overcoming hordes of deadly enemies and epic bosses alone or alongside up to 2 players. You got the cooperative action Souls-like experience. I got a buddy that's super into Remnant and Remnant 2. Seems like people loved Remnant 2, but yeah, you get the base game and the DLC here for $12.49. And lastly, Sword and Fairy Together Forever, $11.99 if you're a Plus subscriber, $15.99 if you're not a Plus subscriber. This is a game that goes super under the radar, and there are some issues with it. From a translation standpoint, not the best. From a visual standpoint, this game is literally one of the best looking games of the last 5 to 10 years. Came out in 2022 on PlayStation. I believe the PC release came out a little bit before then, but action RPG, great character designs, great visuals. The soundtrack's quite good. You know, and it's a 20, 25, 30 hour long game from my recollection. Like, it's a lengthy game. Don't expect something blow away from a mechanics standpoint, but I think it's pretty solid. And again, from a visual standpoint, I think it's outstanding. And for $11.99 if you're a Plus subscriber, or $15.99 even if you're not, I think it's a pretty decent pickup. So I wanted to give that a shout. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great PlayStation game deals as a part of the mid-year sale. Links to all of these in the description box below. Shout out to our sponsor, ENCORE. You can check out them in the link in the description box below. Get yourself some collectibles, memorabilia, all that good stuff. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.